Hey yo, Baboo, what's good, baby? How you doing?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Hey man, I'm so excited that you're coming out this summer, man. And I think I wanted to just reach out to you, and in the same way I introduced Benny, same way I introduced Vegan, I wanted to introduce you to everybody. Although everybody already knows you, just like they knows those two homies. But so yeah, you had me call you at this infamous parking garage. Why are we here? Tell me more. What does this hold? What memories?
We are here because it is just my place of reflection, man. It's one of my favorite spots from back in my parkour heydays, and now it's probably one of my favorite spots to fly, honestly, dude. It's just got literally everything you could ask for. There's a spot that's up here that a long time ago, back when I was spry, I decided to like drop all the way down from the top to the bottom. So took some big balls, you know what I'm saying? So
Now I know where the name
partly
comes from.
exactly, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta have big balls. Send it.
So yeah, so before, like you said, before FPV there was parkour, and like, is descended? Is that the lesson that like you carrying over to FPV from parkour?
Send it with caution. Yeah, like
What is
send
it?
it. You know,
Say
send
more
it
about
with
that caution. What does that mean?
So just being mindful about, like what kind of mental state you're in, what kind of state you're in physically. And that plays a lot into like what you're gonna do that day when you go out with anything you're doing, whether you're like flying drones, doing parkour, skating. So
100%. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, so when you go flying, what how like is your style? Is there a label that you would call your style, and like kind of what makes a Baboo pack a Baboo pack?
just going out and honestly like feeling the spot and not having too many expectations, man. Like that's what makes a Baboo pack. Like really dialing in just like how you feel and translating that into the sticks. And for the most part, it comes out pretty good. If you're angry, if you're sad, if you're mad, if you're glad, you're happy, you can kind of tell in your style. You can kind of tell how you feel. So I really try to just translate what I'm feeling that day into the sticks. That's what makes a Baboo pack, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, so kind of maybe like the emotion that your flying carries, and that you kind of bring different emotions to different spots.
Yeah, because without emotion, there's no creativity.
And so yeah, it seems like when we look at your the stuff that you post, like it's sometimes about spots, but a lot of times it's about like experience. Like it's like you seem to create an experience, whether it's in a box store or whether it's at your traditional FPV store. And so like, where does that come from?
I don't know. I just always have fun, man. Like I try not to ever think about. I don't want to say this and make it sound like I don't think about the consequences, but I try not to think about them. Like because life's so short. When you just go in and you just have a good time, most of the time people are going to pick up on that energy. So like it becomes an experience, but you can't force yourself onto other people, right? Like with gorilla whooping, stuff like that. It just kind of like, you got to be mindful with that. Again, it all circles back around to like, what are you feeling that day?
I see. Does it ever feel like this FPV thing is like more than a hobby? Whether we're talking pathological addiction or more businessy, or like has it ever felt like more than a hobby? And is that a good thing or bad thing for you?
100%, man. Like at first, it just kind of started out as like this thing I found, and a buddy of mine who also did parkour was like really into it and doing real estate like fly-throughs and stuff, like making money, but he wasn't into like the freestyle side so much. And when I got into it, like that was my first thought, was like, oh, I'm gonna get into it and start making money and like doing all this stuff, but no, I ended up just really falling in love with the freedom of movement,
Right.
in another way, right? It was just a whole nother, it was like an extension of my body, right? Like, but now I just kind of sit down with goggles on my head, like VR, and then there's like no repercussions beside my wallet.
This hobby hurts the pocketbook for sure. Yeah, like, what do you think is something like when you're talking? It sounds like you're talking a lot about like creativity, and like, what do you think and you're a gorilla whooper, right? And so I can see people looking at your videos and kind of misunderstanding like that creativity, that that style, that gorilla loop style. And so, like, what do you think people are misunderstanding about, why you do that? Why you fly gorilla? Why you go like that?
It doesn't happen often, I'll say. Like, for the most part, I've had like 99% good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but like there's been one or two times where people just accuse you of something that is entirely the opposite of what you're doing, and you have to kind of like take that as like, well, that's their first time seeing that, that's their first thought. So either you can kind of walk away or try to convince them. I've tried to convince them, but it doesn't work. Most of the time you just kind of got to ignore the haters, and just kind of like do what you're doing, as long as it's not harming anybody. Like, if you know in your heart that you weren't doing anything wrong, then let bygones be bygones, man.
Yeah, you can't have to, like, if you're doubting what you're doing, then it's going to be really hard to be like, but if you're confident, like, hey, I'm just here, then there's no problem holding your ground and just being respectful but holding your ground.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So the other two pilots that are coming out is Benny and Vegan, and like New York has definitely put its stamp on those cats. So like, what city are you getting mail from, and like, how has that influenced you as a person, as a pilot?
So I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is like 2 hours from Atlanta, give or take. I frequent, Atlanta often, like maybe like 6 times a year. We'll go out there and go mess around. So it's kind of like a nice big playground of you've got like waterfalls and the city kind of all wrapped up into one. So it kind of reminds me of how you guys have a vibe in Portland. But like, Chattanooga is called the Scenic City, right? So it has a mix of everything, which is really nice. I think it has a big influence on just like me personally, being able to like sit back and take in, but then also enjoying the extreme side that the city has to offer, at least for what I use it for.
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Jersey, and I think when I got done with grad school, I think Chattanooga was one of the places, like a city that I looked at. We ended up in Portland, but
man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. I think the humidity is the one thing that kept me from going there, for sure. It was that south humidity.
It varies, it varies.
And now I'm in Portland, 100-degree weather. But speaking of like Portland, you're coming out to the Pacific Northwest, and you've never been. So what's the maybe one or two things that you're kind of really focused on, excited about, thinking about?
Right now, bro, after the big balls competition, that one spot that you and Backwoods were flying at, bro, with the freaking tree gap, bro, take me there, dude. I want to go there. I want to hit the waterfall gaps. I just want to hang out and vibe with everybody. The community is so, like, big, it seems like. There's, like, nobody here. It's literally just me at this parking garage most of the time, and that's it, man. Like, so it's going to be exciting to kind of see the different side of FPV for a whole week. And then Vegan and Benny are coming, dude. Like, Vegan and Benny, what?
I think, and in addition, Max is coming too. In addition,
Max,
Supply, aka Kush, aka Andy's coming. There's a whole. I think I've talked to Kazi a little bit. I talked to Goons a little bit. Like, everybody's kind of Super Deluxe. I heard is coming. Yeah, it's gonna be wild people, man. It's gonna be like a whole week of G's from the East, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be so sick.
I'm super excited. Back to the questions, because we got to get to the questions. If you could take one lesson from your journey and hand it to a brand new pilot, this is it. This is that question. What would you do? What's the words of wisdom that you would spit?
Just have fun. Don't stress. If you start an Instagram, don't worry about the numbers. Just network. Have the mindset of making friends, and not views or likes or anything like that. Don't get sucked into the wormhole. And the second thing would probably just be like, find things that you enjoy, and then just dial those in, like, because it's gonna make you have way more fun if you don't try to like do everything and you kind of put yourself in a box at first. honestly. Like don't try to, you know, learn everything in 2 weeks. You're gonna get pissed off because you can't. So trust me, I was there.
Little bites. I think we all want to drink from that fire hose in the beginning. It's like you just can't consume enough FPV.
You
But
see all the stuff and you're like, I want to do that stuff, and then you realize I can't do that stuff yet. Why? And then it can be frustrating. Sim time. That's the other thing. Like find a sim, download like 3 different ones, figure out which one you like the best. Don't listen to other people, and dial that in, because that's going to be your game changer. Like if you can get good flow in the sim, it'll translate.
Yeah, that's true. It's the stick. I mean, it feels different, but at the same time, there's definitely like the comfortability with the stick time. You're gonna have to adjust like amounts of throttle and everything else, but you're still gonna get those same stick movements and way less broken quads for sure.
Find a 3.5 in the sim. It's a good middle ground. That way you're not like throwing a 5-inch every time, and you can kind of dial in some of the lighter weight movements for whoops.
Do you fly all the sizes? Except mostly you probably like a 75, 65 whoop style, but do you fly 3.5, 5-inch? How often do you get up into those classes?
Oh, bro, the only thing I don't have in my possession right now is like a 7-inch. So I've got it all now at this point. I think my favorite is probably the 3.5-inch class for just all around. Like if I'm gonna go out, I know I'm gonna go fly at like an empty spot where I'm not trying to like hit a downtown whoop spot or something. Yeah, 3.5 all day. The max frames comes in pretty close. I just need a higher cam angle, I think, and then it'll dial itself in for me.
What do you fly normally? What's your camera angle that you fly normally?
Typically like 37, 35, 37. It's up. Not as much as slackers though.
Yeah, it seems like the more as you progress in the hobby, your camera angle just gets steeper and steeper and steeper. But then you kind of 35, 40 is where people seem to stop.
Yeah, I will say 25 is really solid though. Like I love me some 25 angle, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of titter. I'm 30 now. Everything's at 30 just because I got to be consistent. I think consistency is one of the most important things in FPV. Like, do it the same for a long time. Like you said, find a niche, get into it. Tiny whoops, do tiny whoops. If it's 3.5, do 3.5. But like, just do that for like a period of time, and then you get.
I've been finding myself fly a lot of like cinematic stuff lately, so it changes up your. You got to lower your camera angle. You got to fly a little bit differently. So when you start, you gotta break the freestyle habits.
Yeah, that's true. But they're always, like, I have a hard time flying cinematic. Eventually, I'm power looping. Like, I'm like, okay, let me just go flowy, smooth, and then I'm like, and also let me just power loop this thing here. But you gotta have discipline. What else, man? What's the 1 or 2 things that you want everybody to know about you and about your participation in the pilot exchange? What's the raps?
If I could have everybody just take one thing from me, it would just be to like have mental fortitude with everything you do in your life, man. Like really try to think about your next steps, because life is like chess. So and if you treat FPV that way, everything will just kind of like fall into place, man. Like but you are in control of how that place lands.
Yeah, that's true.
So have a good time. Don't take it too seriously, but be methodical, if I could say that. Be methodical.
Yeah, it's good to have a vision. It's good to have an aiming point. Like, if you're not aiming for anything, you're just going to be floating around.
Exactly. Set goals
Yep.
and attack.
Amen. Amen, brother. Well, hey, man, thank you very much for introducing yourself, and I can't wait to see you, like, in a couple weeks, it feels like. It's really close.
It is so close. I got to start packing. I might need to like verify what all I got and like maybe build some stuff. Ooh.
We have all the part here. There's all the stuff to fix. There's gonna be soldering. There's gonna be M bolts and screws and stuff like that. There's like a 3D printer with tons of TPU for printing shit out. Battery chargers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's the stuff like a couple spare motors. I don't know what props you fly, but definitely a bunch of props, and then we'll have a bunch of swag here for sure, like things to kind of, because we basically ask for sponsors to kind of just help keep everybody in the air. So at the event,
Yeah.
we're just gonna have like, here's some spare parts. Oh, you need a motor. Here's a motor. Oh, you need props. Here's props. You know what I mean? And just try to keep people in the air, because I think that's really what it's all about. Is just keep people flying, enjoying it.
Exactly. As long as we're flying, we're happy.
That's true. Because yeah, all my shit broke this week at the park, and I was like, at the end of the day, I was just feeling a little bit sour. I was like, nah, I got nothing to fly. I'm going home. All right, homie. Well, thank you so much, man. I'm gonna sign off now. Let you have a great night. Thank you so much for calling, and can't wait to meet you in a few weeks.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be sick. Hopefully, we get everything like smoothed out, and then nobody loses a drone in the waterfall. Ah!
I mean, I'm pretty sure someone will. It's just, yeah. Hopefully it's a one-way
It'll
loop
be
and not.
me.
Hopefully it's a one-way loop and not something that somebody cares about. You know, like not like a 04
It'll be
Pro.
me.
Okay, we'll put it. Yo, we could go on what are those betting pool things? The easy bet,
I'll go
whatever.
swim it.
Just throw it down. We'll get odds. At least you get your money back. All right,
All right,
homie.
man. It's good talking to you.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.